Hi, so this is my day 3, my Munros challenge. I've parked at the Linn of Dee car park, so I'm actually doing route 5 on my web page because I've managed to get a lift to the car park and a lift back, so I'm going to get a lift back from the finish point, which is further up the road. So today I'm going to climb Beinn Bhreac, Beinn and Beinn Bhreac, which I understand means Speckle Hill, Hill of the Rowan and Table Hill. So that's today's plan, about 20 miles, so I suspect I'm going to be out for about 11 hours. A fair bit of climbing to do. Approaching the first bridge, you can probably spot that on the OS map. There's your view coming out of the forest, looking up the Glen Louis maybe, I'm not sure on the pronunciation, and that's where we're heading, up the glen and beyond. So you follow this stalker's path for quite a while. You're heading to Derry Lodge, and in the background, in all the mist and cloud, is Derry Cairngorm. That's another Munro, not one for today. We're going to carry on with this path to the lodge and then we're going to skirt sideways. So this could be a mistake, but I believe this is where I turn right. There's a very small path heading through the forest and a small pile of stones at the side of the bigger track. Yeah, I'm going to give it a punt and see where it takes me. Just to confirm, that is the correct path. It weaves through the trees. Gets very boggy in places. Very boggy. I would imagine after long periods of rain it'll be quite difficult. Path going ahead. If you look, we've got all the cotton bales again. Fascinate me, these do. Another similar day to the last couple, where we've got low cloud in the morning. Hopefully it'll burn off like it has done. That's Beinn Bhreac, excuse my pronunciation. Up there in the cloud, that's where we're heading. First one of the day. Just approaching the top of Beinn Bhreac in cloud, so not a lot to see. There are two domed type tops to this hill. The right hand one, which we're getting to now, 4 meters higher than the left hand one. So this is the actual summit, Beinn Bhreac. I'm just heading off Beinn Bhreac, headed north in the mist, so it's quite open up here. I've just followed my gut really, and I've come to this path which is heading in the proper direction. So again, I'm taking a punt and we're going to take this path, see where it takes us. That was the correct path that I chose earlier, and up until now it's been reasonably good, but as you can see it's getting more and more faint. It's been a bit boggy in places, and the cloud seems to be lifting, so I'm getting a better visibility than I had earlier. Hopefully the sun will burn it off. Yeah, it's now pathless, so I'm just following due north really. Eventually I'll get to the top of the next one. So north is the way to go, I'm afraid. So here we are at the top of Beinn Bhreac. Apologies for the pronunciation. not a lot to see, still in cloud, bit of a slog that last section. As I said earlier, careful nav required. I'm going to retrace my steps now for a little bit and then hang a left for the big one of the day. The clouds have all gone now, lovely. I'm heading up the side, just been through a bit of a boulder field and now heading up to this scree and pretty much go straight over the scree, and then I'm going to make a beeline for the top. That's the north top, which is the highest one. So for the north top, Beinn Bhreac. That was tough in places, very tough. I'm looking forward to some views from up here, although the clouds followed me in behind, so you can't see where we've come from. So that's a view and a half. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we're going to follow this this ridge line. Looks like this other person that's coming along the path is actually running, so it's a fell runner. Makes me feel like I've not put any effort in. Believe me, I have. Just making a stand sit. I don't want him too close to this edge. As you can see, it's a bit steep. Fabulous view. Done about 13 miles so far, and come on, stand this way. I have to say, I've not really seen many views, so it's been worth it though, just to catch these views up here. That's a view of Dub Lochen. This is where I turn right, I believe, and start my descent back to the car park where I'm going to get picked up. And, assuming it's downhill most of the way, so I'm way ahead of schedule. No signal up here either, so it's difficult to keep in touch with anybody who might be picking you up. Very straightforward path down. Looking across now, Beinn Bhreac, the first one this morning, and quite imposing from down here. I have to say, when you were at the top of the last one looking down, it looked pretty insignificant, but this puts it more in perspective, I suppose. We're following these Land Rover tracks now, Stalker's tracks back to the Linn of Bhreac. It begins with a Q, I can't quite pronounce it, and that's where my lift is picking me up. I started at the Linn of D. Not too far now, a couple of 3 mile, that's all. Look at that view. Picture postcard or what? Yeah, I'm about a mile away from the car park now. Still following this Land Rover Stalker's path. That last view was the third hill of the day. Hi. Today is day 3 of my Munros challenge. I actually chose to walk Route 5 today ahead of schedule, simply because I had an option of a lift, which made it easier. It meant I could start at Linn of D and finish at Linn of Bhreac. I believe it's pronounced like that. Very, very straightforward day. At the beginning, followed the Land Rover tracks, on the right all the way up, and followed a path pretty much all the way to the top of Beinn Bhreac. Do apologise about my pronunciation. Now after that I was in cloud and the nav became really difficult, so you really needed your wits about you. I pretty much followed a very faint track north, which eventually disappeared, and then spent quite a lot of time from here on in without a path, all the way to the top of Beinn Bhreac. again I apologise. Luckily the clouds dispersed as I was getting towards the top, so I was able to actually visualise where I was and get there quite comfortably. But again, coming off, there's no paths all the way down. There's a huge ravine on your left, so you have to like circumnavigate that and then head up to Beinn Bhreac. Now that's quite a stiff climb. Again, no path. There's a couple of boulder fields to navigate through, which was hard work. I pretty much made a beeline for the north summit because that was the highest one. And as I got there, the views were really good. The clouds had gone, the sun had come out, and I was able to then see where I'd been in the morning. It was quite good. Lovely, absolutely lovely. So I followed the ridge line, and as you've probably seen in the video now, some fabulous views, and by now I'm on a path which took me all the way back to the pickup point at Beinn Bhreac. However, I need to point out that the map shows a path following the river through the forest about maybe 2 miles or so, 3 miles before the pickup. Now there's an awful lot of deforestation going on, and the path pretty much disappeared, and a new path has been put in its place, which is not shown on the map, and it takes you off over a hill and in a totally different direction to what you're expecting. I was disconcerted at this, and I managed to weave my way through the heather and whatnot and find the remains of the original path, but it was in a poor state and really tough going, and that's all down to the deforestation. Now I do believe that the new track eventually comes out where I needed to be, because I did find that track later on, but it's not shown on the map and I didn't trust it at the time. All in all, it was a long day, quite a tiring day. I was out for 9.5 hours, physically moving for 8.5 hours. It was 22 miles long, and there was 3,832 feet of climbing.